I knew about MSMS because my sister had graduated here in 1997, and of course my mom had worked here since it began, so I had a good idea of what the school was like. But until I got here, I wasn't really sure how life-changing it would be. And in fact, I was really on the fence about coming at all. Even though I had been accepted, I was really involved in some sports back at my home school, but particularly in the band program I was in. I decided, I think probably on like a Saturday morning or whenever the form was due, okay, I'm gonna go. When I got here, I learned, maybe more than anything, that the most important learning experiences for me were going to come from my classmates. I think I had the experience that a lot of students do when they get here, that you realize you're no longer the smartest person in any given high school classroom, and it's refreshing because you realize that you're going to be informed by the folks around you as much as you are the teacher in front of the room, and that was certainly true for me. When I was a student, I think I was trying to stay above water when it comes to grades and things like that. As a teacher, I think it's similar in the sense that I want to always, give my students the best I can, right? Just like as a student, I tried to rise to the occasion when the teachers demanded a lot of me. I feel that way as well as a faculty member, that the students here want to learn. They're naturally curious, and so it challenges me to keep working all the time to find ways to make their learning experience worthwhile. Oh, it's great. I mean, it's only going to be for one semester, so that probably won't feel the effects of it right away. But it's been great. I mean, obviously I had her as a teacher as a senior in University English, and it is special, I guess, that somebody that I have shared experiences with can kind of nudge me along here in the first little bit. I went to Millsaps College for my bachelor's degree, and then I did a master's degree at Vanderbilt, and then I decided somewhere along the line in the Vanderbilt masters that I wanted to teach. And there are a lot of barriers to teaching high school, including having to go through the licensure process if you didn't take education classes in college, which I didn't. So I decided to move back to Mississippi and enroll in a program that allowed me to get that on-the-job education training while earning another master's, and that was through the W. And then I decided I needed a terminal degree, which in many fields is a PhD, but in creative writing is an MFA, and so that's for now where I've ended my personal education. So at Millsaps, I had no idea really what I was going to do. It's a small liberal arts school, so there's a little more latitude with when you declare a major, and so I took full advantage of that. I started in political science, and then I went to history, and I was also taking a ton of English classes at the same time. And then I ended up in religious studies because I saw it as a major that combined what I liked best from all of those other majors. My master's thesis ended up being about Mark Twain's writings about religion, and so that's my turn toward English. And then of course my MAT, the teaching master's, is focused on secondary English, and then obviously the creative writing master's, that's where I decided within English. So I had, from the time I was like 3 years old, wanted to be a baseball player, and I got here and there was no baseball team, so I picked up a new sport while I was here. I learned how to play basketball. That was really interesting to me because, we were playing in the MHSAA, all of these schools that were really good, and we were not. And so that made for a lot of fun stories to tell. I traveled to a bunch of small towns in Mississippi that I didn't know about. That was all because of the basketball team. I learned a lot from my teammates, being stuck on a bus for 2.5 hours, going to some of those small towns. I was able to continue playing music here. In fact, it was just, it was a different style of music, of course, and in some ways it was freeing. So, I think in one performance, I don't think we were called the Blue Notes at the time, but the stage band that we had for the choir here, I played trombone, drums, and guitar all in one concert. That would have never happened in my previous school. Our director was stricter about, all right, this is the instrument that you play. So there was more freedom to explore those avenues. I took a songwriting and music recording technology class here. That would have never happened. Like you said, I had those hobbies before, but now I was getting to explore them in new ways. In college, a friend of mine who was from MSMS was one of the higher ranking editors of the Millsaps newspaper, and he knew that I liked writing, he knew that I liked sports, and so one day he just said, "You're gonna write for the newspaper." And I was like, "No, I'm not gonna do that." And then he was persistent enough that I wrote like a guest column about the NCAA basketball tournament, and he liked it, the editor liked it, and so I started as a columnist and then became an editor and enjoyed that. So Kyle Daugherty, if you're listening, thanks for making me write for them. I taught for 1 year at Kemper Academy, which is in DeKalb, Mississippi, and then I taught for 8 years at New Hope High School in the Lowndes County schools. To be blunt, the fact that a job was opening, I didn't have to have a lot of inspiration, I don't think, for applying to that job, although I had been here for 3 years as an adjunct, and so I knew a little bit about what it was like. It was kind of I was really in charge of an extracurricular group here, which is different, right, from your day-to-day ins and outs of teaching, but it was the fact that a job was posted, and that's what inspired me to come back. It's hard, I think I've said this before, that it's hard when your alma mater asks you for something, whether it's money or to come back and help with something or to work here. It's hard to say no, and I think that for a lot of teachers this is something of a dream job, right? A place where you can be with students who are so motivated, a place where you can explore subjects that matter to you and create new courses and all this kind of stuff. All of those things are appealing, I think, for any teacher, but for someone who went here, you start to think about the history of the school and all the teachers that you were inspired by, and you start to wonder, can I do something like that? And so you go back. Right now I have university composition, I have university English Lit, I have journalism 1 and 2, and I have selected works of British literature. It's always been a part of the community here, and maybe it is going in and out of popularity as an extracurricular depending on how many students were interested in that kind of thing, or whether there was a course. But I think all I'm doing is trying to keep that momentum going, trying to think about what does school journalism look like in the 21st century? What does it look like to folks who are social media savvy? What does it look like in a national environment where journalism might be getting less trustworthy, at least by some important people's standards? But I don't think that I'm really doing anything. I think it's always been up to the students to take ownership of it, and I think I've been lucky in the last 3.5 years, 3-ish years, that I've run into students who want to make it something that's significant. And I think I come to work every day here knowing that everybody else wants to be here too. That's faculty and students, right? That there's something that is drawing people into the building, and it's most definitely not anything I'm doing in the classroom, but you know what I mean? There's this general sense of we're here to learn, we're here to accomplish something. We have our various goals individually, but in the end, we're all here because we have decided to value education across the curriculum, and it's exciting to be in a place where there's kind of that daily buzz. There's also I just also like the relationship with the students here, that they're I have a lot of funny students. I have a lot of students that participate in class. I have a lot of students who are way smarter than me, and that's exciting, to be around people that I know are going to do amazing things, and then, I can look back and pretend that I had some sort of part in that. That all of that is, I think there's just a level of excitement here on a day-to-day.